Hello again, viewers. I know I've been away for a while, but I'm jumping right back into the swing of things with a fight against the vehicle unit. I'm teaming up with Mana for this battle, and I'll be using a force of knuckle borgs, just because I thought it'd make an interesting contrast.
Everyone try your best!
Like the title suggests, the enemy force in this fight consists mostly of Panther vehicles, with a few Death Borgs for support. And while Kung Fu Master can deal some damage to them, the Panther vehicles can bob and weave a little better than you might expect, so it's difficult to get a combo started. And their lasers are pretty powerful, so after just a few hits, Kung Fu Master's almost down. And with a bad spin, that's the end of it. So next up is Jelly Diver. Fortunately, Jelly Diver also has a bit of trouble against Panther vehicles, as they're a bit more resilient than most Borgs, so his melee attacks don't knock them around as much as they would otherwise. And aside from their dodging, Panther vehicles aren't that quick either anyway, so the Jelly Scope doesn't hinder them too much. There's also the fact that the scope has no effect on projectiles, so they're still moving at full speed, and I have to close in on them. Jelly Diver's weird, slow melee attacks don't help matters in that respect. Oh, but thanks to Mana's Angel Nurse, Jelly Diver's got a bit more fight in him. Unfortunately, when he does connect, Jelly Diver deals decent damage. It's just a matter of landing those hits. And not getting clipped in the side with enemy attacks. It seems we've taken down a few waves of Panther vehicles, but right on cue, another one's here to replace them.
This is so hard! Not yet! Why
And after getting pegged out of the sky a few times, Jelly Diver doesn't have much left. And that's the end of it. Next up is Crystal Copy Man. Special Copy Men will only become the Borgs they actually copy. They don't keep their special qualities while transformed. But now I get to turn the Panther vehicle attacks against them, and that's quite satisfying. It's unfortunate that I can't take much advantage of Mana's Patra Witch, but a little boost while it lasts doesn't hurt. Now you can see how Panther vehicle can put a hurt out quickly, both when it's fighting me and when I'm using one. It's just having to put up with that slow reload time. Oh, that vehicle is practically down to its last hit. No, I can see it's going to give me a bit of trouble. I managed to get it just as Mr. Reverse Bolt clips him, which is great, because Copyman would have been useless otherwise. Fortunately, transforming gets rid of negative status elements like that. Although it doesn't help with low HP, and that salvo takes him down. So now Towel Master has to come and finish the job. And with Power Burst, this last Panther vehicle doesn't stand a chance. Looks like the enemy's down with the last board. And with that long range shot, that's game.
Alright! We all did it!
Usually, if you're in your later playthroughs, you'll get at least one Panther vehicle from that fight. So it's a good place to stock up if you like using them. Now we're moving on to Kakeru's Garden and Mr. Reverse Bolt. Again, the title hints at the enemy force. This time it consists entirely of pop honeys.
Whatever you do, don't get in my way.
So I chose to team up with Tama because his Death Arc is completely immune to Mr. Reverse Bolt. And I chose Acceleration Ninja because he's also resistant to it. Although his shots are affected, both his jump and air dash attacks and his Acceleration Ninpo are not affected by Mr. Reverse Bolt. So even while you're spinning away, you can still use your main attacks against them. I figured it would help to end the battle fairly quickly. Because after all, you've seen a Pop Honey fight. It can be tricky to aim Acceleration Ninpo while dashing on the ground, because it can be difficult to tell where your actual facing is while under the effects of Mr. Reverse Bolt. But after a few minutes, you can get used to it. Yes, as I said, I do resist it, but I'm not going to get hit by Mr. Reverse Bolt on purpose. Of course, as I say that, I get clipped, just getting myself stuck in a corner. And I assure you all this missing is not a result of Mr. Reverse Bolt. That's just me not hitting my cues. But still, that's enough of that. After all, you've seen Acceleration Ninja and Pop Honey multiple times by now. So let's just speed this along. I gotta say, it is pretty funny watching Acceleration Ninja spinning in place as he's dashing along. And it looks like I did manage to finish off that alternate color Pop Honey, which is too bad. I like those silver flower speakers. All in all, this fight is pretty easy to deal with. Really, you're probably not going to lose this fight. If you've made it this far, you can deal with a team full of Pop Honeys.
We showed them. I'm good, aren't I?
And like I said, I missed the alternate colored one. But this is really just your chance to get a Pop Honey if you somehow haven't managed. But of course, clearing out the last of those special fights has brought up the boss battle. This is the ending battle of the chapter.
Oh! What?
Now the battle will be up in the greater Tri-City area. But there's a few more things we need to take care of before heading up there. This is just building up some extra GF energy, just to prepare for the next chapter.
Let's rock!
Now I'm opening up here with Sonic Samurai. He's essentially normal Samurai, although he moves a little faster, and replaces the rolling slash attack with the Sonic Nusoken. It's similar to Teleport Ninja's slashing attack, except you don't have to charge it up. And you're vulnerable both during and after, because you don't disappear and you pose in place for a second afterwards. It does stun any enemy it hits, and for bigger enemies like tanks, you can still hit them again. So it's good if you can coordinate with a teammate. Of course, not having to charge your dash means you can use it a little more accurately, but it also does mean you can end up flying off in the wrong direction with one errant tap of the control stick.
I got it!
I'd like to get rid of at least this victory tank before losing Sonic Samurai. Oh yeah, a few more Shuriken Ninja certainly don't help matters. After getting caught in that, that's the end of Sonic Samurai. Next up is Command Girl. And pretty much everything I said about Killer Girl in that previous video applies here, except Command Girl doesn't have a melee attack, so you'll spend most of your time in mid to long range. It's like her lasers are great projectiles, and her blast beam lets her tag enemies even from outside the laser's range. So as long as you don't try and hang around right in the enemy's face, Command Girl's a great board. Just generally good all around. Though that Proto Eagle's Eagle Buster does kind of have me beat at long range. And because it's so big, it can close in on me pretty quick. Unfortunately, if it's not looking at me, I can hop off a quick command laser and knock it down. And that takes me down, but next up is Copy Man. And while we've seen Copy Man before, he really is one of my favorite Borgs. Really, it's just great to be able to use any Borg in your enemy's force, except of course the ones you can't copy, like Fortresses, or Stage 2 Dragons, or Fusions. But even if they've got one of those, they probably have a partner that you can copy. And so it's really just great if you want to try out different Borgs. Of course, it kind of helps when you're not a tank and the enemy has a Shuriken Ninja right in front of you. But hey, you live and learn, and you can adapt.
Got you.
So now I get to turn a Shuriken Ninja against the victory tank. Of course, one more good hit will probably take out my Copy Man here, so I gotta be careful. But against heavy Borgs like tanks, comboing Shuriken Ninja's dashing melee attack into his X attack is a great way to tack on some extra damage. Most smaller Borgs tend to fall out of it pretty quickly. But with Copy Man down, Megaton Robot takes the field. And Megaton Robot's Megaton Hammer X attack is easily one of the most damaging non-destruction attacks in the game. It's much faster than you'd think it'd be. And the drawback of having to collect your head isn't really much of a drawback once you get used to actually going for it. Of course, if the enemy does a good job of keeping you off of it, then you can't get much out of it. And sometimes tosses just don't go in the right direction. But with Power Burst, it recharges fast enough that you don't even have to go get your head. No, it would be really nice if I could actually throw it in the right way and hit something, please. Now see, had I realized that Slow Valkyrie was there, I would have made it my top priority, because Megaton Robot is pretty slow to start with. And getting slowed down here is really just a death sentence. There's really nothing I can do here. Still, Megaton Robot did his job. And next up is Axe Knight. Axe Knight is basically just a more expensive, better Hatchet Knight. His axes do more damage, and they charge faster than Hatchet Knight's hatchets. And like I said, I took out that Slow Valkyrie first thing. And of course, it's always fun to Power Burst and just cover the field in axes. Of course, this can be dangerous even for your allies, but thanks to the reduced damage, I'm not too worried about it. So I'm gonna have to dance around this Proto Eagle. I do not want that Eagle Buster to take me down. Fortunately, if it stops to try it, and I've got an axe charged, it's basically just free damage. Unfortunately, if I don't have an axe charged, that happens. An Axe Knight is the last Borg on this force here, so I really gotta be careful. Thankfully, my axe took it out before Eagle Buster did. But now I gotta watch out for that Winged Dragon. Thanks to Power Burst, I've pretty much got this in the bag. Still, it would suck to lose at this point in the game to an errant laser, so I'm not taking any chances. And with that, it's game.
Alright, I did it!
We'll collect our prizes. But that boss battle's gonna have to wait till next time. Sorry about that, but them's the breaks. Thanks for watching.